Are wedding rings an ancient tradition or a modern marketing gimmick? You might be surprised. What's up, Manly Bands fans? Manly fans, not to be confused with OnlyFans. That's completely different type of content. But Archie here. I sat down on the toilet and was able to Google some things and find out the history of wedding bands. So naturally, I'm an expert. The tradition of exchanging rings dates back 3,000 years ago. Egyptian pharaohs were the first to use rings to represent eternity due to the circle not having a beginning or ending. The shape also reflects the sun and moon, which the Egyptians worshipped. The space in the middle of the ring represented a gateway to the unknown. The Egyptian Ouroboros rings portrayed a serpent swallowing its tail, representing the eternal cycle of things. The Ouroboros is one of the oldest symbols in the world, and its name means tail devourer in Greek, but I bet you thought I was going to say Egyptian. When Alexander the Great conquered the Egyptians, the Greeks adopted the tradition of giving rings to their lovers to represent devotion. Many of these rings depicted Eros, or Cupid, the god of love. When the Romans conquered Greece, they picked up on this tradition as well, and began using iron and copper rings in marriage ceremonies. The iron rings sometimes had key motifs to symbolize that the wife now had control over them. With the material the ring was made out of, these guys just wanted to show you how loaded they were. Those Egyptians were really good at choosing symbolic reasons to wear the rings. They decided that the ring finger contained a vena amoris, or vein of love, which led directly to the heart. The Romans were all down with that belief as well, which just goes to show you that neither of them knew any anatomy because it's not true. But we're still rocking that tradition, because if it ain't broke. After a few hundred years, medieval Europeans started putting rubies in their rings to symbolize passion, sapphires for the heavens, and diamonds for steadfast strength. Around the 1600s, couples started wearing bands during the engagement period. During the wedding ceremony, the groom placed his band on the bride's finger, uniting the wedding bands in a match set. Also in the 1600s, we started to see poetry inscribed inside and outside of the wedding band. Not everyone was on board with the idea of using jewelry to symbolize their marriage. The Puritans in colonial America thought jewelry was a waste of money, so Puritan husbands gave their wives thimbles instead of rings. After brides used their thimbles to sew clothes and textiles for their new home, they could then saw off the tops of their thimbles to create rings. Now, not to take away from the thimble rings, but the rings that became more popular over the centuries are the rings that contain diamonds. The first recorded diamond wedding ring dates back to the late 1300s or early 1400s when it was left by an English widow in her will. The first famous diamond engagement ring was given in 1477 by Archduke Maximilian of Austria to Mary of Burgundy. The ring said to have been made up of small flat diamonds that spelled out Mary's initial M. A fitting gift for the future Duchess. So, were wedding rings just a symbol of a couple's love and wealth, or did they serve another purpose too? In the 12th century, the Christian church declared marriage to be a holy sacrament and established a church ceremony. Rings were a part of the ceremony, and it became the rule that no man should place any type of ring on a woman's hand unless he meant to get married. Before this, rings didn't always signify marriage. They're often given as tokens of devotion or to represent betrothal. This is when two types of rings emerged, the engagement ring and wedding ring. Now, women have been wearing wedding rings for thousands of years, but it didn't quite catch on for men to wear wedding bands. So when did men start wearing wedding rings? It wasn't until World War II that men started to regularly wear wedding rings. The tradition only caught on when American and European soldiers wore wedding rings as a way to remember their wives and sweethearts back home. The tradition continued through the Korean War, and after this, wedding rings for men caught on among civilians. Now, remember when I mentioned that back in medieval times, people started using precious stones in their rings? Well, up until the 1940s, diamonds were just one of many gems that people used as engagement stones. Their wild popularity is mainly due to De Beers, that's not to be confused with but the diamond company that controlled the majority of the world's diamonds at the time. When people stopped buying diamonds during the economic downturn of the 1930s, De Beers launched an epic marketing campaign. They showered diamonds on Hollywood actresses like Marilyn Monroe to make diamonds glamorous symbols of romance. De Beers also came up with the still popular slogan, "Diamonds are forever." And De Beers' marketing campaign worked like crazy. In the US alone, the percentage of brides who received a diamond ring jumped from just 10% in 1939 all the way up to 80% in 1990. Once De Beers started marketing in China, the percentage of Chinese brides who received diamond engagement rings jumped from nearly none in 1990 to more than 50% in 2019. Wedding rings symbolized commitment, love, and devotion, and in the past, they signified a contract between the couples and their families. They were tokens or even security deposits that showed a man's promise was as good as gold. In recent years, wedding rings have evolved into statements of individuality and partnership worn by all genders. So, according to my extensive bathroom research, that's a brief history of wedding rings over the past couple thousand years. Today, you'll find couples worldwide sporting their rings as a token of their love and to add a little jazz and pizzazz to their wardrobe. So, if you...
I think we're ready. Yep, this on now.
Shalom, shalom. Give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Roha Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. Shout out to the hopeful elect. I am Brother Naba.
This is Brother Tazadagda. Shalom, shalom.
We're here to talk about the subject matter. Through the Spirit, I received about the wedding band. And this is something that I see that even in modern times, that's supposed to be a symbol of conquest, not a symbol of love and devotion and that kind of thing, which has really gotten out of hand. So I'd like to get into, what's that, Exodus
20.
Exodus 20. And I'll start at the top. And Yahweh Shai spake all these words, saying, I am your power, thy Yahweh Shai, which have brought out in the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other powers before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness or anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. So I just want to talk about how in Western culture, men have been hoodwinked into thinking that if you belong to a harlot house, you're supposed to pay all these exorbitant fees to support ancient deities. I didn't know about ancient deities that was attached to the ring there.
Okay.
So let's go to Hosea 4 and 6.
Okay, I got you. All right. This on this side. The book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6. You want me to read that or you?
Yeah, read.
Okay. The book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6, and it reads, My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I have also rejected thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power. I will also forget thy children.
Speak on that, sir.
Oh, well, yeah, basically, like the brother was saying, that this whole wedding ring thing it's a Western pagan custom. And for those of us that are Hebrew Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and speckled bird, if you claim to be a Hebrew Israelite and you serve the God of the Bible, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, then he already gave us ordinances to follow. And the wedding ring is not an Israelite custom. We have our marriage customs. We have our statutes and ordinances and how we're supposed to conduct ourselves. And when you get the understanding on that, you will understand that in the scriptures we had wedding ceremonies. But ultimately, let's say you couldn't have a wedding ceremony. The Lord made it where sex between a man and that woman, that equals marriage. All right. So the Lord, that's just one of many customs that he gave us that our people refuse to follow. And every way they always tend to go after the way of the heathen. And then we end up suffering for it. And if I could, I got this article right here. I pulled it up for the divorce rate because, that's the other aspect that, elders and brothers get into about it. It says, this is the AI overview. It says in 2024, the divorce rate in the United States is between 40% and 50%. for first marriages, though it has been declining over the last few decades. And it says other divorce statistics. You get up?
Good.
Okay, it says other divorce statistics. The divorce rate for second marriages is 60% and 73% for third marriages. So it just goes more into it. It's like you can get a woman a wedding ring, but that right there, it doesn't secure your marriage or none of that stuff that she may try to convince you that is going to secure, because it all goes back into Yahweh Bashmi Al Shai. All right, the scripture right here speaks about how you won't be a priest unto him. All right, ultimately, it can be used for all these different things. You won't, if you don't do what the Lord tells you to do, you won't have favor with him. So anything you put your hand to is going to fail ultimately. But you got it all.
I got Galatians 5 and Shalakia 5 and 20. Idolatry, witchcraft, hatreds, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies. This talks about when Paul was in Galatia, where that we have the men of the Lord, the brethren, the Hebrew Israelite, must stay away from other doctrines. Now, the harlot house is a doctrine that is not supported by the God of Israel.
And you said this was Galatians 5?
Galatians 5 and 20.
5 and 20. I'm going to put it up right here. And then you can get it. Yeah, we can still just use your joint right here.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Okay. Read that again.
Con.
Okay. Galatians 5 and 20. Idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies. Now, there's a movie that came out about, I guess about 15, 20 years ago called Blood Diamonds.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us was, the Hebrew Israelites were stuck in the mines, sacrificing their lives. If anybody knows about working in the mineral industry, it's a very dangerous situation. But from what the company that owns the diamond company called De Beers. Now there are other stones, but it's through marketing that they're able to go through from 10% to 1990 to 80%.
Right.
And this is all through marketing, whereas that the diamond, as the song goes, diamonds are a girl's best friend. Used to sing with Marilyn Monroe. So if you're putting something that's on your finger that represent a snake that's devouring itself, that's idolatry. That's wicked.
And it'd just be one thing if it was just that, but we already know through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmi Al Shai, these heathen, they have customs. They do things in symbolism to their gods, their idols. And like the brother just pulled up in this video earlier, it's already explained that it goes back to Egyptian, Greek, Roman customs where they believed in the Ouroboros, the snake devouring its own tail. And it's ironic because Jake, our people, they complain about how these women, and they do this and that, they do everything for the woman, and she snakes them out. It's like, bro, you got to understand what you're getting yourself into. The symbolism is there, but once again, the Lord said it's people destroy for lack of knowledge.
I didn't know. And this is like about 30 years ago. I was dragged into church, that harlot house, not counting the cost.
Right.
That ring cost, the ring and the wedding band was well over $3,000.
Right.
Plus fees of you had to pay the pastor.
Right.
Plus fees that you have to pay for the rental of the church, the property,
the wedding fees and stuff.
Those are hidden fees.
Right.
Because you're trying to
profit off of their marriage.
You're trying to satisfy your boo thing.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with that. Do I bite the bullet or do I lose my potential spouse? And that's something that I see all the time is that, you see back in the day, carriage, man sitting on going through New York, and you're going through all these things here, but woman doesn't care about you spending money.
Right.
She knows she doesn't have it.
Right.
She wants you to spend the money.
You want me to get that precept? That's Sirach?
Con,
All right, I'm going to get that right here.
what you got?
All right, it's the book of Sirach. Let me see if it'll pull up. Oh, it's acting crazy on this one for some reason. Man. I'll try it one more time.
What's that? Sirach 20.
Sirach 9 and 2.
Got you. Right here.
Okay.
Give not thy soul unto a woman to set her foot upon thy substance.
Huh.
What that means is that she should not have any fingers or joint hands to extract your coin.
Right.
You're the accountant. You're the steward of your riches, your 9 to 5. You're spending a lot of money. And the thing about it is that as long as you got the money, she's going to continue to delve into your pockets. And that's why you have the ratio, women to men, 20 to 1. Because men are starting to wake up that this is exorbitant fees that's coming out in the open.
Right. And that's basically, to add on to what the Ark is saying, it's a straightforward precept, Brothers don't understand, well, not brothers, but 2/3 of our people don't understand that you can spend all this money on a woman, but it's not gonna guarantee she stays, one. And two, the Lord, like the brother got in his first precept, thou shalt have no other gods before me. And back then it was our people making idols and statues and stuff like that. Nowadays, like brothers have gotten into this week, it's everything that our people put before the Lord. They put women before the Lord. They put their children before the Lord. They put their job. All these other things they put before the Lord. And they think he's just going to sit right there and be cool with it. No. He's going to have to judge you according to that if you were an Israelite, because our people made a blood covenant with the God of the Bible. He has a certain way that we're supposed to operate and certain conduct in which we're supposed to keep. That's what these laws, statutes, and commandments are. Ultimately, we're not going to be saved by him. We're going to be saved by faith on his son. But if you believe on his son, you're going to rehearse these righteous acts. And that includes having enough backbone to tell these women no. There should be boundaries if you actually have love together. But you got it up.
Okay, I got one for you. Ecclesiastes 9 and 8.
What, Ecclesiasticus?
Ecclesiasticus.
Okay, come.
Sirach.
Got you.
Turn away thy eye from a beautiful woman, and look not upon another's beauty. For many have been deceived by the beauty of a woman, for within love is kindled as a fire. That means if you're not careful, she will set you and everything on fire.
Right.
Anybody remembers when allegedly a football player was cheating, and this rapper burnt down his mansion?
Man. There you go.
So when you have women that feel like they own you, in this Western society, Babylon the Great, women own you as soon as they get a hand in your pocket.
Come. And that's why the precept says it right there, because the Lord, he wasn't joking when he told our people, thou shalt have no other gods before me. Jake, they always look at, even when they look at the letter of the law, they don't understand it, but it's the spirit of the law that they completely miss. The Lord, he told us that for a reason. If we put anything before the Lord, then we basically are asking for an ass whooping, so to speak. We asking for calamity. And certain things he let us go through, like it says, the just man falleth 7 times but get back up again, but the wicked falleth in the mischief. Certain things he lets his hopeful elect go through so we can actually, Father, I see why you didn't want me to do that. But 2/3 of our people, they're not going to go that route. And I got that other precept to back you up right here. This is Sirach, better known as Ecclesiasticus, chapter 33, verse 18. And it reads, hear me, O ye great men of the people, and hearken with your ears, ye rulers of the congregation. So the Lord is talking to these men of the nation of Israel that he's chosen to be his priests and prophets, especially. But it goes for all of the men. Verse 19, give not thy son and thy wife, thy brother and friend power over thee while thou livest, and give not thy goods to another, lest it repent thee and thou entreat for the same again. So right there, the Lord is letting you know the reason why he started off with the great men of the congregation is because if the rulers of the congregation are on point, the rest of the nation will be on point, just like Yahweh Shai. Because Yahweh Shai did what was pleasing to the Heavenly Father Yahweh, we have a chance back to the Heavenly Father. We know the right way in which to walk. All right. But, when we not in order, you got confusion. You got Jake not knowing how to go and which way to walk in. You have, these situations that keep happening. Verse 20, as long as thou livest and hast breath in thee, give not thyself over to any, for better it is that thy children should seek to thee than that thou shouldest stand to their courtesy. In all thy works keep to thyself the preeminence, leave not a stain in thine honor. You got it, Art.
I was just thinking, in my long experience in terms of dealing with the opposite sex. There have been plenty of books of what you call how to pick up a woman on pickup artist books.
Yeah, now we got red pill dudes doing videos about it.
They're doing that, but altogether, the beauty of a woman is very, very
alluring.
Very alluring. It's just like that movie called "I'm Going to Get You, Sucker."
Yeah, with Kenan Ivory Wayans.
Yeah, where he thought he found a cutie, and she started taking off all these accoutrements and how to make her look beautiful. The big chest, the long hair, the blue eyes.
She even took her leg off.
And she took a leg off, and she started saying, and hopping on one leg. Okay, I'm ready for you, baby. He ran out the room. This is what we're seeing on a regular basis.
Right.
I mean, yeah, that's an extreme, but that's something that we, the men of the Lord have says, okay, enough is enough.
Right.
We don't want that no more.
Okay.
We want you to come be trained as a wife.
Right.
We don't want all this beauty. Everybody's got this baby hair slicked back.
Right.
Everybody's wearing this horsey hair. Everybody's wearing these Spanx, these girdles, these BBLs,
right,
tummy tucks. As a matter of fact, my ex wanted a tummy tuck and a breast augmentation. About 30 years ago, that was about 15 grand. I said, no, you're not getting that. I didn't marry you to turn someone else on.
And that's why the Lord put that order out there. When you get into First Corinthians 11?
Mm-hmm.
Let me get that real quick. Let me see. Oh, yeah, this app's still messing up. I'm going to hit the blue letter.
What you got? You said 1 Corinthians?
Yeah, I think it's 1 Corinthians 11. 1 Corinthians 11 right here. I got it. 1 Corinthians 11, verse 3. And it reads, but I will have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Hamashiach is the Most High Yahweh. So right there, for that reason alone, if we don't follow Yahweh Bashmiel Shai, we're not going to know how to govern these women, because you got our people, they'll listen to these red pill individuals and stuff like that. But one of the elders recently did a lesson about it. It's like, end of the day, whether they say it or not, all they really doing is basically simping. They give you some game here and there, but it's still simping, because ultimately it's not to make you a better man. It's to get these women. It's basically to get box. But with that, even with that, without the understanding of the scriptures, you're going to fall short. They're going to get you some way or the other, because you're going to be puffed up with your riches, just like the Lord always says in these precepts. You're going to think there's no way that she can never leave me. I got it, this and that. And next thing you know, she's getting her back beaten by a dude that has way less money than you, because it's not about that.
Got one for you.
Come on.
1 Corinthians 11.
I can go there for you. I'm still right there.
I got you. Okay.
Where's that? 1 Corinthians 11?
And 9.
And 9? Come on. Okay.
Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man.
See? Beautiful. You got it up.
This is the order.
Right.
we have to follow guidelines. The woman has no think that she doesn't have any accountability. She doesn't have reason. Only thing she goes on emotions
Right.
and what her girlfriends or what the society tells her that she can get away with. I mean, it's not. It's very often you hear about some woman that sets up a man to meet in a hotel room,
Right. Right. It's been a lot of those stories coming out now.
and the man gets jumped, beat up for his loot.
Right.
And that's the thing about it, is that because we don't understand the scriptures,
Right.
we must understand that there is a pecking order. We must follow that, or we will perish.
Right.
There is judgment for that.
Right. It's just like stepping outside the safe zone. If you know that, it's a war going on outside, then you looking for a bunker, you looking for a safe house. That's why the scripture says the name of the Lord is a strong tower. But
That-
2/3 of our people don't abide by it.
You lose that hedge of protection.
Come.
That's something that I didn't know anything about it until I got into the truth.
Come. That's all of us though. That's why, the Lord, it's always a thing about it's Jakes that knew these precepts, but it wasn't always Jakes that was applying these precepts. And that's why the Ra'ash Kasat Magan, he gets into knowledge is basically the accumulation of information, but understanding is knowing how to apply that knowledge,
Sometimes it's too late.
Right. And that's the beauty of Yahweh Shai, because if the Lord didn't give us Yahweh Shai, we wouldn't even know how and when to apply these precepts. We'd be out here trying to debate. We'd be out here trying to impress these women. We'd be out here twisting the truth to get women. You wouldn't have our elders on down reminding women in the common boards to just be silent like the scriptures say, because it's not about, it's not about what you feel and what you think. That's why the scriptures also speak about lest she abuse herself for overmuch liberty.
I think we beat this one pretty good.
Con. That's it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, Con. You can close out. I ain't got anything left.
Okay. I want to give all praises to Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bahashim,
Bahashim,
Yahweh Shai,
Bahashim,
Bahashim, Rahakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shout out to the hopeful elect. We bid you Shalom.
Shalom.